What happened to Meghan Markle's quiet birthday plans? You know, the plans that she briefed to Hello magazine? Instead, we had to see a woman who believes she should have a royal role in some type of sachet like a drag queen around her crap kitchen with a fake birthday tiara on her head. This is real. Followed by the unedifying view of her dogs being forced to wear party hats and a prince of the realm's gross bare feet. This was all particularly tragic given that Meghan herself had to mark her own birthday. Tash, this is her most embarrassing performance yet. And amid all of the concerns about the state of the marriage, the fact that we literally hear Prince Harry utter those two fateful words, oh dear, this felt like it had so much more meaning and significance behind it.
It's just Meghan celebrating Meghan. Meghan wishing herself birthday messages from Meghan to Meghan. It reminds me, she had a watch inscribed many years ago. She bought herself a tank watch and she had it inscribed for the future daughter that she might one day have. And it was like 2mm from MM. And it's still very much the same. Meghan can't help herself. She has to celebrate herself. We saw very, very similar when it was their anniversary. It was the celebration of Meghan. Everything was geared up for Meghan, and then this. But it does make me laugh. I mean, why is she wearing it looks like a bridal pajama set that you give for friends. You go on a hen do, like wifey material, soon to be sort of thing. And she's not giving wifey, she's giving crazy. But as I said in my video, Dan, the one thing I will say, this is the closest that Meghan Markle's ever going to get to wearing a tiara ever again. So, let it go. Let it go.
Mercies. Small mercies. I mean, we certainly hope. But Tash, it's quite extraordinary, isn't it, to feel that you have to brief the media about the fact that you are going to have a quiet birthday, but then insist on invading your own privacy once again.
Yes, 6, 7, 8 photographs plus various posts plus a video. This is really celebrating quietly, But this is Meghan. She doesn't want to celebrate it quietly, but it is rather embarrassing that she had no one wish her a happy birthday in the celebrity world. And this again, because she does make this so public, it allows this sort of thing to be shown. Whereas if she had actually not posted anything on social media, the world wouldn't be able to see that, hang on a minute, the Kardashians, Kris Jenner, I mean, even like all of these rich people that she hangs around with or gets freebies offers. There's no public. I mean, the Kardashians is quite a big snub, really, but I'm not surprised that they snub her after Photogate. But yeah, there's no one of note actually wishing her happy birthday. I don't think even her friends Abigail Spencer even gave a public gushing one. She's normally very gushy, but yeah.
Well, she did last year, and they share a birthday, so it was particularly strange.
Yeah, I mean, strange in the sense that Meghan felt that, the world needed to see her in a swimsuit again. I felt like the holiday summer dump was enough. This is Meghan's new thing that we're going to have to see a lot of thigh from her. And of course, even with that photograph, I mean, she was cosplaying Diana again, even jumping into the pool with the swimming costume because Meghan's mole found a picture and Diana jumped in. Exactly the same, the leg positioning, the hand positioning. She's just, I don't think that she could relax. I don't think she relaxes when she's asleep. She's just constantly processing and calculating, I think. What can I do next? What's going to get me the most attention? And sure enough, it does work because out of all of the photographs that she posted on her birthday, or rather, her staff did, of course, wishing her a happy birthday. The photograph that got most talked about was the one of her jumping in the pool because she looked like Diana. So she knows how to play the game. She does know how to play the game, really.
And I do think, Tash, that's what we see at the moment prioritized in Meghan Markle's social media. It's ever since Lady C revealed these rumors of Harry's close friendship with a woman in Montecito. All of a sudden, it's like, we're fine. I promise you, we're really fine. And the fact that she even posted the clip with him saying, oh dear, is like a sign that it's just desperate to show there is some form of proximity. He loves me really, okay? He even loves my dancing.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, with the recent summer photo dump that she did, I feel a lot of that was also the same. It was, with people saying that they don't do anything normal with the kids, and then you've got them all on the beach together and stuff. But they, to me, just look like a couple of people co-parenting, really, if you can even call it that. They still do not look close as a family. Megan stood there separately on the beach, as I said, giving herself a wedgie with a swimsuit. Um, you know, and you never see them interact as a family, all four of them. And I do find it rather odd. I do find it bizarre, even if it's just them interacting at the back of them. They're never actually just playing. Someone is clearly there taking the photographs of them because there's always a fifth person. But you never just see them just being like a normal family. Even when they went to, what was it, the Halloween last year, they went to the pumpkin patch. It's all rather bizarre. It doesn't show that they are a close family unit. If anything, it just makes people question it more. It just looks odd. You never even see Meghan really playing with the children. You never see her throwing her children around, chasing them or anything. It's every photograph that she chooses to upload. It's very contrived. She's trying to send a message out into the world. But as I said, like even the one of her sitting in the restaurant with Harry, they were supposedly in Portugal. They don't look like they're loved up like they were when they were eating burgers and fish and chips and stuff. You don't have the mushy Harry and Meghan like they were at the Beyonce concert. And I can't help but feel that Harry's kind of done playing that game. If you remember when they did that dance in the garden, he took a bit of convincing before he'd smile on camera to actually play along with her. I think he's just done with her games and her nonsense and her constant thirst for attention. No wonder he looks drained, Dan. Can you imagine how exhausting it must be trying to keep her
Oh
happy?
my God, I know. Oh dear, indeed. And then, Tash, you have all of the various cosplaying, which sometimes verges into the territory of plagiarism.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yeah.
few different examples. Firstly, look at this great video, actually, which shows how this is just one of many examples, Tash, of Meghan, I
Yeah.
think, studying Diana, don't you?
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. She's always attracted attention from royal watchers from the beginning, especially people that loved and watched Diana. They saw her trying to copy Diana with gestures that she did, with trying to act meek and shy, with hand gestures and things that she did. I mean, Diana wore some incredible fashions over the years, and fashion does come back round. We've seen photographs of
Mm.
Catherine wearing outfits that you could say, though that's a nod to Diana, but it's not. They're classic, timeless pieces that get reworn. I mean, the Princess Royal is a perfect example how fashion can come back round again. And but there is a difference there. It's not a nod. It's not just they wore something similar. Meghan goes to the extreme where it's the behavior, the mannerisms, and that's not Meghan's personality. Diana was shy when she was a young woman because she married in to the royal family, naive, innocent, very, very young. Meghan was not naive and innocent, and she's trying to be all coy with her hand to her face. And then she did the thing which Diana was famed for, where she did the hat tilts and things where you couldn't quite see her eyes. And then obviously she'd tilt her hat up and then the camera flashes would go mad. The cameras were in love with her. Meghan was always trying to cosplay her. And in part because she wanted the attention, in part because I think that she's always been obsessed with Diana. But I also believe in part because she wants Harry. She needed Harry to believe that she is the reincarnation of his mother. It makes him malleable, it makes him easy to mold. It makes him easy to go along with whatever she's plotting and planning. That's how I believe she's always played that game where she was like, if we don't leave the royal family, I'm going to throw myself down the stairs, just like your mother did. I'm going to do this. I'm going to.
Mm.
It's a sick and twisted game. It is a sick and twisted game, but I think Harry gets off on it. So yeah, each to their own.
Well, he's so
Each to their
troubled when
own.
it comes to his mother, isn't he? But it wasn't
Mm.
just Diana. Hans pointing out, not only did Meghan happily copy Diana's jumping into the water pose with jewelry, but
I
now she's
thought that.
happily copying the Beckham's dance. And look, Tash, look, she's actually done the look.
Do you know what? I was watching this clip earlier and I was like, it's reminded me of something. And it was the Islands in the Stream that they did on the Victoria's Netflix. Oh, that is
Hmm.
creepy. She's cosplayed Victoria a few times, hasn't she? Like identical outfits because Meghan was trying to be a fashionista. So then she just focuses and she goes, right, okay, who am I going to cosplay today? Meghan the humanitarian. You can look that up and she copies Angelina Jolie, certain hand movements and things that she does. It's certifiable, shall we say. Definitely something that I think the psychiatrist could talk about for many, many, many years.
Yeah, and
Many.
then Nancy Sidley had also revealed earlier this week there was the Nara Smith ripoff too. So this is Nara Smith. She's like an online trad wife. And what I'll do, Tash, is show you her video first, followed by the video that Meghan posted on her Instagram story just days later.
At first glance, this looks like a light-hearted moment. Meghan appears relaxed, smiling, and wearing what many are calling a playful tiara while in the kitchen. But almost immediately, commentators began asking a much bigger question. Was this simply a fun post, or was it carefully timed to respond to ongoing speculation about her marriage to Prince Harry? That's where the debate really begins. The media has spent months speculating about Harry and Meghan's relationship, often analyzing everything from separate appearances to social media activity. So when a new post appears, especially one that projects happiness and confidence, some commentators see it as a deliberate message. Others argue that's reading far too much into a single photo. Several royal commentators have suggested this was a public relations move designed to push back against rumors. That's certainly one interpretation, but it's important to remember that it's still an interpretation unless Meghan or her team confirms that intention. Public figures often become the subject of competing narratives, and sometimes those narratives say more about the media than the people involved. Today's celebrity culture is different. Every photograph, every caption, and every appearance gets analyzed from every possible angle. Supporters see authenticity. Critics see strategy. The same image can generate completely different conclusions depending on who's looking at it. Whether this was intentional or not, one thing is certain: public perception has become a major part of the Sussex story. Every new interview, appearance, or social media post becomes another chapter in an ongoing narrative that millions of people continue to follow. And once that level of scrutiny exists, even ordinary moments can become headline news.
She's a plagiarist. She's done it with everything. Every quote that she comes out with, you're guaranteed someone else has said it. Everything that she's ever come out with, and it's got an ism to it. It's like it's not an ism. Meghan has copied this from someone else. I mean, even when she started doing the As Ever, or what was it called, American Riviera Orchard, she was copying. She tried to get on board with the Flamingo Estate. She actually tried to go into business with them. There are a couple of gay guys that run a very, very successful business, and Meghan tried to get on board with them. And then they basically turned around and said, no, thank you, this isn't beneficial to us. And then she sets up her business practically copying them.
So I'm just
She
going to
doesn't
copy
have
everything you
she
do
doesn't have an
instead.
original thought, Dan. She doesn't have an original thought in her head, whether it's a speech, whether it's a candle, whether it's a bookmark. It doesn't matter. Someone else has already done it, and Meghan comes in, or one pot pasta. That was Martha Stewart's famous one. But there she was. That's Meghan's one pot pasta now. Oh, I don't think it is, dear. I don't think so.
Meghan announced her pregnancy at her wedding. Now Princess Eugenie announced the birth of her daughter, which was yesterday on Meghan's birthday today. I'd rather look at her newborn than a crazy lady jumping into a pool anyway. Tash, over to you.
Well, I find it a bit too coincidental, really. I mean, when I think back to Eugenie's wedding day, I mean, that really was disgusting. She was meant to be friends with her, and she did that. She deliberately stole the bride's thunder. And we know when Meghan, when the pregnancy got announced, she went to Australia on their first official tour after their wedding, a matter of weeks later, and Meghan was still flat as a surfboard. She had absolutely no reason to announce the pregnancy then, and she did it to steal the bride's thunder. It's one of those unwritten rules. You don't do it. It's like when people get engaged, unless the bride has actually turned around and said, I don't mind you getting engaged at the wedding. You don't pop out a ring and do that any more than you announce a pregnancy. It's selfish. And I've always wondered if it ran a little bit deeper. People have said, that Eugenie and Meghan were friends for all those years, but all I saw was Eugenie still trying to stay in contact with Harry. And I know a lot of people turned against her, but I don't think there is a friendship there anymore. And as I said, she gave birth to a little girl on Monday, and the timing of the press release, and it also gave Buckingham Palace a wonderful thing to post as well, because Buckingham Palace put their statement out on Meghan's birthday. So of course, people have already gone, oh, well, Buckingham Palace didn't acknowledge Meghan. I said, well, why would they? Why would they acknowledge Meghan? She's someone that left the royal family because she escaped with her life barely intact and tried to burn down the very institution. And then you have a new baby born to one of the royal family's princesses. So it's a no-brainer, really. But yeah, I'm very happy for Jack and Eugenie. I think it's lovely they've got a little girl to add to their family of three. Lord alone knows, I think the York family could do with a bit of a boost. Not that I feel sorry for Andrew and Fergie, but obviously the girls, my feelings on that, until they're proven guilty of something, I don't think that they should be dragged through the press as badly as they have. But yeah, I think it was perfectly timed, and I personally choose to believe that Eugenie did it on purpose, because it's just too delicious not to.
I mean, it does show you how much has changed, though, Tash, in that York family. I mean, you think back, I was looking back on this because I just wanted to remind myself. You think back to the birth of August, which was in 2021, and Fergie posted, as grandparents, the Duke and I are thrilled and blessed at the arrival of our grandson, August. Philip Hawke Brooksbank, he is a beautiful blessing and a bringer of such joy and love to all our family. And of course, this time around, just total silence.
Has to be. Nobody wants to hear anything public from Fergie, from Andrew, from Harry and Meghan. People do not want to see a public statement coming from Andrew and Fergie. I mean, they are still very much in the corner of shame, as it were, and I think they will be for a very, very long time. But yeah, I can't see how even Eugenie and Jack would really appreciate their parents putting out a public statement. But Fergie's gone into hiding. Andrew's obviously in hiding. He's been banished. He's in his little cottage somewhere, hiding away. I don't think he's even allowed to go out publicly horse riding anymore, because the king got sick of seeing his face being taken accidentally by paparazzi. So yeah, it has to be private celebrations. But then it's about the birth of their grandchild. So I'm sure that they're completely happy with not being allowed to have a public facing happy cheers for their newest arrival to their family. I'm sure Fergie's taking it really, really well.
Not exactly. And Tash, how we were speaking earlier about how Meghan Markle is constantly trying to cosplay Princess Diana. What's so fascinating is actually one of the royals with Diana's blood is really sparking a bit of an internet sensation.
It's interesting to watch all of the Middleton children. You look at them as they grow, and they've all got, very, very strong genetics from their grandparents, both sides. Louis is all Michael Middleton. That is absolutely no DNA check required there. Whereas George, he's very much, I would say, like Spencer side. And then Charlotte, she seems to be a 50-50 mix, but I see a lot of Queen Elizabeth in her. Genetics is a wonderful thing, and it's a beautiful thing. All of those children are gorgeous, but you really can see strong Diana genes with the eldest, with Prince George. But that's the difference. That is genetics, and that is just his face and his features, what comes naturally. What Meghan does is unnatural. What she does is creepy and somewhat concerning, I would say, at times. That is someone that is calculating every move, every expression in the mirror, that studies someone that is no longer alive as well. And yeah, should never be compared. But no, George is turning this as such a handsome young man as well. But with the genetics of Catherine and William, though, I think all three of those children are going to be heartbreakers. So
yeah, as Molly's mama posted, that quick moment when George takes in a breath, closed his mouth, then tilted his head and lifted his eyes upwards at Catherine, then laughed, was his paternal grandmother, Princess Diana, and his dad, Prince William. I immediately saw Diana. That's the shy die move, as it was called when she started dating Charles. She did that too when she was teased, or did the teasing herself. George and Charlotte both inherited her looks, expressions and mannerisms, but Molly's saying Prince Louis is all Princess Catherine. So as you say, Tash, very much the Middleton side of things.
Yeah,
Now, Tash,
definitely.
Some critics have gone as far as calling the moment insufferable, while supporters dismiss that reaction as unnecessarily harsh. The interesting part isn't just the criticism itself, it's how quickly opinions become polarized. One side sees calculated image management. The other sees people unfairly criticizing almost everything Meghan does. Stories like this continue gaining attention because they're about more than a single social media post. They're part of a much larger conversation surrounding Harry and Meghan's relationship with the media, the royal family, and public opinion. Whether this kitchen tiara moment was meaningful or completely innocent, it's become another example of how closely every move is watched. In the end, the photo itself is straightforward. What's complicated is the interpretation. Some believe it was a carefully crafted public relations moment. Others believe people are reading far too much into an ordinary social media post. Without direct confirmation of intent, both remain opinions, not established facts. Sometimes the biggest story isn't the image itself, it's the conversation that grows around it. So what do you think? Was Meghan's kitchen tiara post simply a fun moment, or do you think it was intended to send a message to the public?